Is this why they chose Bad Bunny for the Super Bowl performance?
They always said that Charlie Kirk was a
This is the wokest thing ever.
Don't care for Bad Bunny, however, I'm very tempted to have it on in the background just in case he gets raided by ICE.
Did you see that Puerto Rican man perform at our American Super Bowl? This is unheard of. This is anti-American. Get your pitchforks. Guys, I'm over it, okay? I feel like the right has completely lost the plot, sounding more and more like the woke left every single day. Looking for a reason to be offended, we had 2 Super Bowl performances. We had Bad Bunny at the actual Super Bowl, and then we had the TPUSA All-American alternative. I want to talk about the claim that if you watched Bad Bunny, you are anti-American, that if you watched the TPUSA performance, you are automatically racist, which I also don't believe. Now, first off, I'm not a fan of either genre here. I don't like Bad Bunny's music. I also don't like country music. Now, I will admit, I feel like visually, the performance was much more exciting, entertaining. It had a lot of energy. And then you compare that to what I saw at the TPUSA halftime show.
I just want to catch my fish, drive my truck, drink my beer.
You know, everyone has their own music taste, but I also want to talk about AI and how that's affecting, especially Facebook moms and dads, their political beliefs. And that's a huge problem. If you cannot tell that this photo of Bad Bunny wearing a transgender dress, burning the American flag is AI, please do not share your opinion on this matter. Please do not get into politics. Please don't. Because this is a simple Google search. Hey, Google, is this real? Do your research. Because looking at, oh my good heavens. Guys, this is your Super Bowl halftime performer? When are we as Americans going to stop this? He's American, and this is fake.
This was literally the worst halftime show in the history of the NFL, and possibly the worst halftime show ever in professional sports or college sports history. I mean, this was a disgrace to watch, disgraceful to America. First of all, the guy sang all of his songs in Spanish.
My collar's blue and my neck is red.
Meanwhile, you're watching Kid Rock say Bawa Baba, da bang, diggy diggy.
With the ba, da bang, da dang, dig, dig.
I don't speak Spanish. I took it in high school. Hola. So I did not understand it. And yet I'm a little bit confused when people say, well, I can't enjoy it if I don't understand it. Really? Because I think a lot of it has to do with the rhythm, the energy, with this performance specifically, right? You can look at the staging, the choreography. Again, I'm not a fan of Bad Bunny and his music, but it was still something I feel like many can enjoy, even if they don't understand what he's saying. Now, on the other hand, I do feel like a very simple solution would have been to just include some subtitles. This is America after all. Yes, we have many Spanish speakers, but we have even more English speakers. So that would have been a very easy solution. I don't know why they didn't do that, but I feel like a lot of it was making a statement, right? Even if, and I'm very thankful for this, I was expecting Bad Bunny to just go out and say, guys, f America, whatever. He didn't do that. It was actually pretty wholesome, especially compared to the past Super Bowl performances. But again, this is a halftime show. This isn't legislation. This isn't immigration policy. You can probably sit through some Spanish, right? And if you can't, okay, switch the channel, right? And they're saying, oh, this is an assault on family values, on America. And then what, pretending Kid Rock is a model of virtue and modesty? Or they brought up Bad Bunny's lyrics, not even from the song that he performed at the Super Bowl, just other songs. And they're like, oh, this is so, inappropriate. Agreed. But then you're not going to do the same thing with Kid Rock, ignore the history there with sexually explicit lyrics. So you pick and choose. You're just showing your tribal loyalty without actually using your brain.
The Olsen twins. Why is every guy in America waiting for these chicks to turn 18? I mean, you know what I say? If there's grass on the field, play ball!
And it's just so disappointing, not even because of these reactions, right? It's because we could have had this guy perform at the Super Bowl.
I've got to apologize to Bad Bunny. I sat down and watched his Super Bowl performance today, and it wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. Little gay.
I bet that got you all excited.
But he said, God bless America. I think he represented the people of Puerto Rico well, and he wore pants instead of a dress, which I thought was nice. So it was a good show, but I still don't f***ing like him. This and this. I still think my new song would have made a better halftime show.
They always said that Charlie Kirk was a Nazi, and they celebrated after they killed him. They tried to tell us that Black Lives Matter and that white people have always been villains.
Cannot be real. This is the same guy, by the way, with the devil is a Democrat thing, right? It seems like it's not really about unity for you. It seems like the goal is to satisfy your ego. All of this is narcissism. This is the wokest thing ever. How can I make this about me? The conservatives cannot win the culture war. And this is why when we take a look at music, at choreography, at artistic expression, all that becomes invalid to them if it doesn't fit the very narrow idea of what they believe masculinity and femininity has to be. So then one day, what I have experienced, right? They say, hey, you don't have to transition, right? You're a man, you're born a man, cool. You want to express yourself in a different way, right? Makeup, dresses, whatever. Cool, you're still a dude. Like, you do you. Or from the women's side, you know what? You're a tomboy. What happened to tomboys? Why is everyone transitioning? No. Agreed. Wait. But then the next day, it's, I don't like the way you present yourself. You're anti-American, you're demonic. I don't want to see you on my TV. Okay, meanwhile, with this guy, it's more ink than skin visible. You're so close to the septum piercing theory, except the piercing is between your brows. All these arguments have just started to be rooted in insecurity. No substance. Just think about Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk was a political activist. Yes, what happened to him was horrific. The left celebrating was disgusting. We talked about it. But to perform a song about Charlie Kirk at the Super Bowl, he was not a music icon. This is so ridiculous.
This congressperson is demanding a federal investigation on Benito's halftime show because Benito performed reggaeton at the Super Bowl. And the biggest issue that they're having is that it had a lewd queer sex. There was no queer sex. There was two guys dancing on each other. There was two women dancing on each other, but there was nothing that allude to that. And they said it was inappropriate for kids to see. Listen, the Super Bowl, they've always had people dancing together.
Way more women and men dancing. And 2 seconds of guy and guy, that was enough to have a meltdown. It was never live and let live. It was live how we want, disguised as live and let live. We're talking about choreography at a halftime performance, not a church service. Although I know that might be very confusing for you if you attend a mega church, because those two things will look the same. But this kind of choreography is not new. The difference here is that it involved 2 men for 2 seconds, mind you. So let's call it what it is. This outrage is not about modesty. It's about discomfort with 2 seconds of same-sex imagery. Okay, if you don't like it, change the channel. I know a lot of die-hard MAGA stans who still are not questioning anything about Trump and the involvement with certain files would hear Kid Rock and get really excited. So it's good that you have that option.
Conservative brethren and sisterhood, can I be so for real with you right now? Since when did we suddenly decide that Super Bowls and award show performances are meant to be wholesome, kid-friendly, God-fearing worship services? Since when did we start combing through every lyric of every song like we're doing a Bible study, deciding if it's sinful or demonic because it's raunchy? We literally just had Nicki Minaj on stage with TPUSA. Go pull up almost any Nicki song, go line by line and tell me you don't find anything sexual, explicit, or raunchy in the lyrics, but you guys are praising her anyway.
Thank you. Someone's saying it. This is what pushed a lot of people away from the right, by the way, is this selective outrage. And it happens on the left too. But with Nicki, that's a great example. Now that she's on our side, it's okay. It's okay. But Bad Bunny's not on our side. So when he does the same thing, it's a problem. It was just horrific, the show, right? It had the only thing more powerful than hate is love. Oh, the horror. I know the Super Bowl is a very emotional time for many people. Right, me blasting Bad Bunny, so my MAGA family's forced to hear it. All of this is ridiculous. You want to watch this one, you want to watch the other one, fine. But look at the way that it's dividing people. It's sad. Or we had cringe like this. Just a little white girl amazed by anything with culture. Girl, there's no way. This is exactly like that other woman we saw in the last Super Bowl where she was just amazed by the performance and Black culture and she couldn't even begin to understand the messaging there. But Black power and solidarity, and I can only dream of understanding and being part of real culture. Okay, like enough. Here's the thing. We all have a shared culture in America. That's what makes America so great, right? Your ancestors could be from Italy, from Poland, Ireland, whatever. What's so cool is that we have a shared culture and that's American culture. So pretend this woman here, I don't know what she is, but let's say she's Italian American. She can also celebrate her Italian roots and Italian culture, right? Music, architecture, food, all of that, and American culture. But no, if you're white, you have no culture. That's what we're going with here, right? But that's not the case. You can celebrate and appreciate Latin culture that was portrayed in this performance without putting yourself down and saying, oh, my roots, they don't matter. There's no culture there. Why is everything black and white with these people? I don't understand.
So if you watch the alternative Super Bowl just because Bad Bunny was Puerto Rican, you're racist.
I just watched the halftime show with my family, literally the whole time just complaining. Just because you're an English speaker does not mean that it was bad or it was horrible. It does not mean he isn't relevant enough to be in the Super Bowl.
You could have not liked the music and you could have been curious about what was going on at TPUSA and you like country music, fine. But if you're like, well, this guy's not white, so he's not really American. Yeah, no.
To get up there and perform the whole show in Spanish is a middle finger to the rest of America. Who gives a damn that we have 40 million Spanish speakers in the United States? We have 310 million who don't speak a lick of Spanish. This is supposed to be a unifying event for the country, not for the Latinos, not for one small group, but for the country. We don't need a black national anthem. We don't need a Spanish-speaking, non-English performer, and we don't need an ICE or America hater featured as our primetime entertainment.
What is the national language officially of the United States of America?
I mean, English.
Okay, so no, English is the dominant language. It's not the official language, which she does go on to say, which is great. But whether you like it or not, Spanish is deeply embedded in American life, especially in states like Florida, Texas, New York, California. So a Spanish language performance should not offend people this much. I completely understand saying, hey, you know, everything was in Spanish. I mean, we could have used some subtitles. Maybe some of it could have been in English. 100% agree. But to get this worked up, and again, the conservatives, especially the straight conservatives, you could have actually watched it and have seen. It was pretty tame. There was a straight wedding, beautiful costumes, like, and saying it shouldn't have been for Latinos. It's like saying, okay, showcasing Latino culture excludes everyone else. But that's not the case. If we looked at a country singer, we wouldn't say, oh, this is only for white people. Only white people can enjoy this. That's not true. Or looking at a hip hop performance and saying, oh, that's only for black people. No, we understand all these genres as part of American culture. Now, there is also the religious aspect to this, which, you know, if you ever bring that up, especially on TikTok, you know how those comment sections go.
Your God doesn't exist. My God does. And he is all loving. If you disagree with me, I'll kill you.
But I still think we should just take a little look because many people are calling this demonic because everything is demonic apparently. Is this why they chose Bad Bunny for the Super Bowl performance?
This was demonic. The Super Bowl halftime show with Bad Bunny was demonic. And of course, Lady Gaga had to be a part of this because why wouldn't she?
Well, that was my favorite part. I love Lady Gaga.
Pay attention to her shoes. And that's all I'm going to say about that.
No, say more, please. Come on, explain it to us. What is demonic about her shoes? Because they're red?
And then you have this right here where he's doing this type of pose right here because, again, this is more mockery. This whole entire halftime show was anti-Christ. You see him doing another one of these poses.
Okay, so then going to the All-American show where they were doing the same pose and they were reaching their hands out. Is that also mocking Christ? Has everyone lost their minds?
And then right here, there's more signs and symbols. Pay attention to the floor right there in the middle. I mean, come on.
Oh, it's so obvious.
This is Bad Bunny. This is who they're giving you. That's why you're getting Bad Bunny, because they want to woke America. This is what the world does. It celebrates sin. I won't be shocked when Bad Bunny's performance is full of filth.
The moment Ricky Martin appeared, the message became crystal clear. This was the passing of the torch from the old to the new, marking the official beginning of Bad Bunny's reign as the new industry gatekeeper. Gaga played a much more important role in this ritual. She played the part of the high priestess. In ancient and esoteric traditions, blue is a color often associated with the divine feminine and the Great Mother, which is connected to Isis. He positioned himself between the heavens and the earth, with the sparks representing the activation of his own divine spark. Symbolically, he was siphoning the focus of 100 million people and grounding it into the stage to feed off their energy.
Do you remember the Atlanta spiritual psychosis video I did where we looked at those people who thought that there were these like ancient Atlanteans and it was under Atlanta? Yeah, this is what that's giving. Spiritual psychosis, religious psychosis. I'm tired of pretending this isn't the exact same thing. He's gathering the power of the audience through electricity. He's putting his hands up, so that's mocking Christ. Facts over feelings, they say. Really? Religious paranoia. These people have never heard of stage lighting, like all these different poses, fashion experimentation. All of that has to mean satanic ritual. Now listen, I know some people, like, they're religious and they're fine. Like, people can be grounded in their faith. It can be deeply meaningful to a person. And I also agree that Hollywood often mocks Christianity. I've spoken up about that. I'll continue to speak up about that. I think that's wrong, and I think it's ridiculous that they only go after Christianity. But this performance, where in this performance were they mocking Christ? This is not healthy. This makes all religious people look hysterical, to look for demons in electricity. And you can't argue with this is satanic language, because that is meant to end debate, not to invite it. Okay, let's move away from schizogram for a second and back to reality.
You think Bad Bunny is a good choice for the Super Bowl?
I'm not that knowledgeable about him, but it seems fine, and I don't know why it's a big deal. Seems like a great American artist, so sure.
He's
why
not an American artist, but
he's Puerto Rican. That's part of America, dear.
Bad Bunny's American, mind you. Just because you're born in America doesn't make you American.
Yeah, that's literally what it means.
Hey, did you guys hear Bad Bunny is doing the NFL halftime show? Can't wait to see ICE arrest him on stage live at the halftime show. Gonna be the best halftime show ever.
Arrested for what? Performing music? You should go back to playing with your dolls.
I don't care for Bad Bunny. However, I'm very tempted to have it on in the background just in case he gets raided by ICE. Because that would be a far more entertaining halftime show than whatever the f he's gonna put on. I don't really care to watch an anti-American wear a dress and dance up on stage. Instead, I'll probably be spending most of my time watching the Great American Halftime Show.
She means like this?
You give the rest of us a bad name for those of us who just want legal immigration. I think that's very important, right? But you're escalating from, I don't like his music, I don't like his politics, so the government should detain him. Where's free speech now? Now that you're offended, freedom doesn't matter, free speech doesn't matter. How are you any different from the woke left that go after comedians and try to cancel them? Now, we also had the Mike Tyson commercial, which managed to offend people as well.
Before I was fat, nasty, ugly, fat and huge.
My sister's name was Denise. She died of obesity at 25. She had a heart attack. I was so fat and nasty, I would eat anything. I was like 345 pounds. We're the most powerful country in the world, and we have the most obese, fudgy people. Something has to be done about processed food in this country.
Now, overall, I liked the ad. You know, he's talking about the obesity rates, how he felt. Personal accountability. It's health, it's awareness, how it's affecting other Americans, but it did manage to trigger people. So let's separate emotions from facts for a second. This is not attack on every overweight person alive. Now, if I was doing this, would I have left out some of those words? Yeah, right? I would have probably avoided nasty and fudgy.
Fat and nasty. Because why would you even say something like that? Fudgy? Like, who are you? Who is the target audience of this video? Because you can't possibly be talking to plus size people. You're not about to bring me in by calling me fudgy.
But then again, he is allowed to describe his experiences and using words that reflect how he felt. But the modern instinct, I suppose, is to police language so aggressively that even speaking up about your own health journey is enough to be called fatphobic. Now, you can respect people at any size while still acknowledging the health risks that obesity carries. Cardiovascular disease, diabetes. The food we eat matters, right? The processed foods. I know that's not what many Americans want to hear as they're watching the Super Bowl, probably drinking a Diet Coke because everyone knows that's so much better, while also eating a bowl of nachos and chili hot dog, whatever. You can disagree with this tone, but reacting as if acknowledging obesity rates is hate speech. That reflects how emotionally charged this topic has become. And not just this topic, not just food, but performances, politics, language, music, choreography, fashion, everything. Every cultural moment has to mean moral panic from both sides. And the right used to be better at this, at putting their emotions aside for a second and using your brain. And I don't know what happened. We have to ask ourselves why everything has to feel like an existential threat. You don't have to watch a performance you dislike. You can change the channel. You can mute the ad. You want to be obese, be obese. You can also voice your opinion. That is part of living in a free society. Just try and do it proportional. Critique the art, debate the message, but resist the urge to escalate every disagreement into, oh, this must mean oppression. This must mean racism. This must mean fat phobia, blasphemy. Not every aesthetic decision is an attack on civilization. I feel like a culture that cannot tolerate mild discomfort without spiraling into hysteria, it's not heading in the right direction. But you guys let me know what you think. Did you watch any of these performances? Let me know in the comments below. Also remember to like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.